Hello there, my dear friends. A warm welcome to one and all of you. And here we are meeting in yet another session. And we always had been telling you this that the only objective for the sessions are to help you understand the values of life and why it is important to understand the values of life is only thing you got to be an overcomer. We keep telling you this often, and this is like a mantra. Not only for you, it is a mantra for me. Every mankind will have to go through this mantra, and you write it in your heart, not in your mind, because mind is going through a lot of sensational things that happens in this world, a lot of political things, a lot of economical disturbances, and perhaps there are a lot of other things, unprecedented events, natural calamities. It's not in our control. Therefore, mind is always in a kind of an unrest situation. Therefore, certain principles like this right in your heart. Yeah, no one can erase things from your heart. All right, we are not here to talk about heart or mind, but at another topic we are here. Many people have asked this. The title of this session, I was just thinking, should I call it as career counseling, or should I call it as next steps in life, or should I call it as corrections that are inevitable? So I do not know. So let us pick the title as career counseling, for example. Okay. Now, this career counseling, the moment I say, yes, yes, talk to my children, the parents are saying, children are saying the same, talk to my parents. And so we have divided into four different, not divided actually, we are actually targeting four different actors in this session. Parents applicable, children applicable. If your children means all your students for sure applicable. You are young, in the sense you are very young and you have just started your graduation, applicable. Young professionals, applicable. Mid-age professionals, for example between 10 to 20 years of experience, applicable. So in the next few minutes, maybe in 10-15 minutes, I want to share some of my personal experiences. For some of you who do not know who I am, you know my name, definitely it's in the channel. I work in IT industry, but I'm a civil engineer by graduation. There itself a conflict comes. So did I take civil engineering by choice? No, but by force. What to do? Because during my days, the engineering thing was commencing like this. For example, when we complete the first year is when we get to know what branch will be allocated to us. For the sake of taking our wish, they'll take, but there are a lot of other parameters. There are management quotas, there are merit quotas that are involved, and therefore I never got what I wanted, not what I wished for. I always wanted to become an IT engineer, a computer engineer. But yes, if you ask me, I was never having confidence in my heart. The reason is I was not good at mathematics. Even today also, the mathematics examination, it will come in my dreams as if I'm sweating, and the teacher is, the invigilator is walking towards me. Hey, you, there is only 2 minutes more, and how are you going to pass this examination? Somebody threatening me always. So I even now also I go through this kind of horrifying dreams. So somebody told me, no, if anyone is weak in mathematics, they will never flourish in a field like computer science. Therefore, that got registered firmly in my mind, and that became a big blocker. Yet, I had that passion for the computers because with that little, what to say, facility we had, we didn't have Google, we didn't have internet those days, 1995 I'm talking about. I didn't have any of this, but with little interaction with some of the people who have done engineering, they were always telling, hey, computer science is the future. Therefore, you should always enroll for computer science. Therefore, and also many people explain, they give few explanations about which we'll be discussing in a moment. And that was very convincing. But what happened is I got my civil engineering. I was literally dejected. I was depressed also. But I had to overcome because somebody told me, hey, what you are doing, do it with all your heart, mind, and soul. Give it your fullest attention. Give your fullest, best of your efforts. And then, in parallel, try to do whatever you want to do. So I definitely bought that advice. Then I overcame that depression, and I was focusing on my civil engineering. I scored a decent percentage. I scored around 68 percentage in my civil engineering. And when I was at the end of, in the verge of completing my third year, I had joined an institute and they had started to teach me things. I had to pay, it was not for free. Some of the courses like the Visual Basic 3.0, this is how I started my computer science journey, a parallel journey. And why am I telling this testimony? I will come later, right? I will finish it soon. And then they absorbed me as an employee of the company a year later, and then I got an opportunity to work in a live project in the development center. And then I got opportunities to work in classic ASP 3.0 internet technology. Internet was picking up those days, 1998, 99, and e-commerce world was just rising up to the boom, not to the boom, many people got that introduction. There is an e-commerce world coming today. Without e-commerce, you and I are not able to live in this world, correct or not, right? Amazon, big baskets, Flipkarts, and this and that. We don't go for shopping. Earlier I used to buy 10 things, all 10 things I used to buy visiting shops. Today 9 out of 10 things I purchase it from my home in the click of a button. Did it happen in one overnight? No. It started somewhere in the 1998, and somebody gave me that vision, and I inherited that vision, and I stuck strongly to that vision. So when I finished my civil engineering, I switched on to the IT engineering, but nobody welcomed me. Nobody would trust me. Why? Because they thought as a civil engineer, I would never have that curriculum, academics, knowledge, or intellectuals or intelligence to cope up in this IT world. In fact, I was once sacked, and one person told me this when he sacked me. Yeah, with all care, I tell you, son, you do not fit here. You do not belong here. Go back to your engineering, civil engineering. And that I was a very young person. I was roughly around 23 and a half or something like that. I just passed out, and I was a 1.5 year old professional, but I could not sustain because something went wrong. Then I had to take a break of 2 months, revisit my instincts, and then I had to rebuild my career. And today I'm working as a program manager in one of the prestigious company. I'm not allowed to tell you the name of the company, but one of the prestigious company. And I mentor a lot of youngsters, and I do a lot of coaching and mentoring, both technically and professionally and personally and psychologically, and so many ants, right? And it did not come in one overnight. It's all about efforts, it's all about attempts. But never ever assume that I'm able to reach here, or I was able to reach here without any failures. Lots of obstacles, lots of failures. All right, let's leave that behind. Now let's come to the four categories. What are those four categories? Parents. Let's talk about parents. Today's world, I think parents are really mature. During my days, parents were always in the comparison mode. Look at that child. Today also there are some category of percentage of people, but they are on the lesser side, because I think somehow they got that education, that awareness that they cannot pressurize the children. The more they stress the child, the lesser they are going to get, or reap the benefit, right? Even the original intelligence, even the nature of the child is going to get shaken. So never ever pressurize a child. And the second principle, career counseling only, right? We are not deviating. And the second principle is start analyzing the strengths and weaknesses of your child. Do not instill your dreams into the minds of the child. Learn to understand what is the strength of a child. That's definitely part of your parenthood. It's your important responsibility, right? Because the child always looks at you for any guidance. And why? Because they trust you, and you are their parents. You begot them. You have the prime responsibility. And start to encourage the child in that strength, right? And the weaknesses, always start working upon it to convert also as strength. But then don't make over efforts. Because why? Sometimes that is the limitation, because we are all not the same. If all of us were to be same, if all of us were to be Bill Gates, all of us were to be Steve Jobs, then who's going to work for Steve Jobs? Who's going to work in that company, right? Everyone wants to become an employer. Who's going to be an employee? So that is never going to be the case, right? So the child may be a very good fit for an employee but not for an employer. But certain children are very good fit for employer, but this guy always want him to be a salaried employee in a government job. The guy hates you for this reason, and you are discouraging the child. You cannot do that. Learn to analyze the strengths and weaknesses, and encourage the children in the direction where they are strong enough to grab things, and invest in those areas. If the child is very good in sports, invest, right? Those days are going away, right? If not academics, there is no scope, there is no hope, right? Still it is fairly true in many areas, but it's changing, it's changing, the trend is changing. I'm not saying you should cut him off from the school and academics. and only send him for swimming, swimming, swimming. There can be only one Sachin Tendulkar who flunked in 10th standard, yet he is the superstar and he's almost the god of cricket, right? There is only one Dhoni. But Dhoni is an educated guy. He was working as a TTR and all that. But there can be only one Sachin. So never ever, having somebody as a inspiration role model is good. But blindly getting into that direction, it will not work for many people. India is a country where there are several millions of people, and the opportunities are very less. All right. So parents, that's all. It's over. Everything else you are doing, it's perfect, and whatever you are doing, it's awesome. Yeah. Parents are the most valuable asset. Children, please make a note of it. Now, children listening to me, between the age group of 8 to or 10 to 18 listening to me, because before the age of 10, I don't think you will have that maturity. You better follow your parents blindly, and parents, that's why I'm telling you, until the age of 10, learn to work on the strengths and weaknesses of your child, and the tips are given. Now, children between the age of 10 to 18, that's the right time, because India is a growing country, but in India there aren't too many job opportunities. We do have a lot of issues. Not all youngsters, all the people who pass out graduation, they are able to get job from that same very year they passed out. Yes, still there are problems. Am I calling it as a political issue? I have nothing to do with any political party. I am a citizen of India like you, and we are all on the same page, right? We are only talking about the practical issues, underlying issues. How to tackle this? It's always better to have two or three plans. Plan A, B, C. You're really shocked? Don't have only one dream in life. Have several dreams. Why? Because India is a thickly populated country, and it is not at all possible for the government of India also to provide all sorts of opportunities and employments to everyone. It is also a responsibility, sole responsibility of every citizen in India to find opportunities or to create opportunities for yourself and also for others. Yeah, you may be a very good person who is very innovative, right? So in that innovative line, if you are innovative in certain things, for example, building certain mechanics, or building certain robotics or electronic products and all that, have that as your primary dream, but always have a backup plan, right? Like that's why I told you my testimony. My primary line and focus was civil engineering. Why? I need graduation. Without my certificate, I'm not even qualified to work as a. I'm not. I don't want to talk about any profession. Any profession is good, please. That's why I'm not going to say this profession is bad, that profession is good, and all that. I never mentioned anything like that. Any profession is good, but I won't be even qualified to get even the least of the least of the job that I qualify, I deserve, or you deserve. Correct? If people are not able to go through this education process because of poverty and all that, that's totally a different thing. But my parents educated me with great difficulty. They spent a lot of money, they took loan, and they educated me, and I have tremendous respect for that. Therefore, I need to get that certification, which is the qualification. But I found my ways as plan B and plan C to get into the IT engineering line, right? Therefore, I started working on that. Similarly, your primary goal is something else, but you need to have backups. You need to study on the emerging markets. For example, during my days, the emerging market was e-commerce. Robotics, nobody even thought about it, correct? And the emerging market was internet itself was not very popular, it's just picking up. And the emerging market was search engine, because Google has been just given birth. We used to have what, Alta Vista, av.com. We used to have askjeeves.com. Now those, I don't think the search engines are even existing now. Google overtook everyone, correct? Search engine was emerging because that's the market. Advertising in the IT, in the softwares, or in the e-commerce world or whatever. YouTube was just picking up, where you can upload your videos and you get more views. YouTube actually pays you. These were emerging market. But now, 25 years down, or 23 years down the line, when I look at the emerging market now, what is the emerging market? Emerging market, or multiple varieties of markets, have emerged right now. I was just googling something. Now, actually, the students between the age of 10 and 18 start, putting your thoughts on the emerging market. Therefore, you can choose the right course, because very important. At the age of 16 onwards, you should be almost decisive what you want to do 2 years down the line. You cannot discuss, or you cannot think through, you cannot come to a conclusion at the age of 17 or 17 and a half. You got to be clear what you want to do at the age of 16. I was just googling one thing. You know what is that? What are the most useless degrees that people ignore the most? And some of them are the following, right? Advertising. Many people ignore. I don't want to be into advertising. Two important things always people want to pick. I want to be an engineer. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be into the what is it pharmaceutical field. I want to be into biomedical engineering. I want to be biotechnology, right? Or in I want to be a computer engineer with robotics, right? I want to in IT there are various categories nowadays. In IT with robotics, IT with biotech, IT with artificial intelligence, IT with cyber, IT with security. So many things are there. Nothing wrong, because that's definitely a market which is quite static, which is quite consistent, and not static, actually it is dynamic, but it's quite consistent, right? Because for 23 years plus I'm able to survive in this industry. Something is not wrong, everything is right. Therefore, you have taken the right course. But what if you are not able to afford for some economical reasons? That's not the end of the world. Sorry. Hey, even if you're in IT field, you definitely need the help of other people. For example, network engineering. Why are you not even thinking about it? Building infrastructure, you can be a good interior designer, interior works. You can be a carpenter, fashion technology, you can be a tailor. Tailoring is not definitely bad. We all need to wear clothes, no? Huh? So where do you go? To the tailor shop. Fine. Now you nowadays you don't go to tailoring shop, but some guy is manufacturing and sending this ready-made shirts and t-shirts and all that, right? You can become an entrepreneur. You can be a retailer. You can be a distributor. There are so many opportunities available. You understood? I'm already giving you some tips. This is almost a career counseling already. We are into it. I'll tell you, some of the most advertising. People ignore advertising like anything. Why? You have a lot of dynamic ideas, right? You are a very humorous person, and humor is definitely one important parameter when you manufacture any advertisement. If there is humor, no, everybody will watch. During my childhood days, some of the advertisements I now also remember. If there is any humor in that, no, I remember it even now also. See, I'm laughing already. I don't want to mention what it is, but anyway, there is no time for it. Research, anthropology and archaeology. Research, right? People dig, excavate, and they find a lot of important things and all that, and geological studies on the soil and all that. People ignore that. There is a lot of scope in that. And fashion designing, I already told you, right? You got to be a fashion designer. People like you are much needed for big retailers, even Myntra.com, Misho.com, and so many dot coms where they are involved in this kind of business based on clothing. They need fashion designers like you, right? And you can be a good you can become you can excel in tailoring also. You can have your own shop. Now, tourism and hospitality, you know what money they meant? A lot of money. And tourism, I'm not saying that you should be a multi-crore, multi-billionaire and all that to build a resort, but the multi-crore, multi-billionaire will need a person like you and me to organize things, to orchestrate things, come up with more ideas where you are able to attract the tourist, you are able to attract with a lot of hospitality, right? Education, teachers, professors, you can do courses like B.Ed, M.Ed or M.Tech and all that, and then you can be a wonderful professor because as children, as young people, they definitely had to go through a lot of additional coaching because whatever they teach in the school is just not enough. I'm not blaming the academic system what India is having, but that's not enough because the academics in India is heavy lifting. It's not like Europe, it's not like US, it's heavy lifting and it's competitive. Therefore, you and I need to definitely have additional coaching. Nothing wrong if you want to become a teacher or creative writing, criminal justice. People ignore all of these things. Some of the things I just made a note. I read it for you. There are many things you can Google out. Why? Because in a year there are roughly around 65,000 engineers that are getting graduated, right? In southern part of India alone, and not southern part of India, in a state like Karnataka alone. And if you can take the count, you can Google and see the exact numbers versus a job opportunities that the engineers are having. It's not even one fourth, which means three-fourth of the people are going to be jobless. So what I'm trying to say here is, you want to quit your dream of engineering? No, that is your plan A. But plan B, nothing wrong building something like this, right? You have to identify your innovative skills. You have to identify your strengths, and for which you seek the help from your parents. That's why I started with parents. or seek a help, pick up a mentor or somebody whom you know in your relative circle or in your friend circle, somebody, pick up them as your mentor and have a plan B, right? Until this plan A is successful, you can operate on plan B. And many times I've witnessed this in some of my friends, and even I am the witness, right? Plan A is a flunking thing, is a flopping thing. Plan B worked better than plan A. But you need to have your legs on both the plans, therefore you are able to excel. Now we are done with the age of 10 to 22. You are a graduate. Now you have gone and become a young professional. Sorry, my time is up. I will finish in 2 minutes. Okay. In the professional line, you go with a lot of expectations. For example, you are a intern. You join as an intern, and then you become a fresher, and then you become a beginner, and then intermediate, and all that. In any industry, chemical industry, mechanical industry, fertilizing industry, agriculture industry, IT industry, the auditing industry, economical industry, the retailing industry, entrepreneurship industry. There are so many industries, but this kind of hierarchy is the same, right? You're a junior, then you become intermediate, then you become a senior. You will not be dry of challenges, in the sense you may think as a junior I will have so many challenges, but as I grow, no, I'll become boss and all that. No, that's when you will face more challenges. Because why? I had been thinking like this only. But as I grow up the ladder, they almost expect you to be like God. You should know everything. When I was within between the 0 to 5 years of my career, right? The number of rounds I have to take is maximum one or two. That's it. Second round itself, HR will come. Then when I became 5 to 10 years, it became like 3, 4 rounds. 10 to 15 years, it became 5 to 6 rounds. 15 to 20 years, it becomes almost like 7, 8 rounds. Now 20 plus years, I don't even know how many rounds they want. It is like, it's a nightmare. They almost need like 10, 15 rounds. Everybody, including the peon, including the coffee boy, everybody wants to talk to you because they want to know who you are. 20 plus years, you are like God. 20 plus years, you are like God. There are challenges in every level of your career. Therefore, do not discount the challenges. At the same time, you don't have to be, paranoid. You don't have to be horrified or threatened, because that's life, right? As you grow up the ladder, the lesson learned I learned with that I close. The lesson I learned is, as you grow up the ladder, you're also expected to grow in maturity, courageous, very courageous to face any battles, and never be dismayed, never be discouraged. So many other parameters they will check. That's why so many people are talking to you. It will start from the peer level, then one level above, then L3 level, then L2 level, then even the CIO wants to talk to you, and HR will talk to you, marketing guy wants to talk to you. They want to check your strengths, because they want to check whether they, because a lot of money they have to pay, whether it's worthy to invest on you. You are an asset, right? It's worthy to invest. You buy a land, you definitely inquire everything, no? Because if it's a fake land or something like a encroached land, that's it, you lose all the money. Similarly, the company wants to carefully assess you. Nothing wrong. That's the system that we all have to live in, right? Therefore, there's nothing wrong. But when you battle it out and come, you grow stronger. That's what I have learned. When I'm able to clear all the rounds, some confidence is building in me, right? So this is the career counseling what we can give in the limited time. You want more details, pass some comments in the YouTube channel. You want more advice in specific course, for example engineering, I'm very confused. There are at least 20 to 25 different categories of engineering courses. Then I think I would have a direct connect with you, free of cost. We don't charge anything. All that we want you to do is do well in your life. That's all. That's all we want. And I'm doing this just with a lot of passion and care that I have for the mankind. So feel free to reach out to me on any specific advices. And God bless you. Take care and do not lose hope. Always march forward. Learn that your life is to live. Yeah, not to not to discount things, and not to live in a kind of a discouragement and end up in some kind of nonsense, right? So don't get into all that. Your life is to live, and there are multiple ways to live your life, just that we are not exploring enough. That's why I gave you a few tips and examples. Take care, and anything you need in specific, reach out to me.